right, shall we start? So I'm going to give you kind of update on what we've done recently. The last academy was in London in October, so that was the last time we gave an update. We've done 4 releases since then. We have added 16 new features in the month and a half that it's been. We've improved some features and we've made some bug fixes. As has been sort of mentioned in the keynote this morning, we've released every 2 weeks or thereabouts. We've actually been releasing kind of every week fairly recently because we've been doing some integration with Bartek. So what have we been adding and what have we been up to? We've got lots of new integrations in that period. We have added support for the new Microsoft Azure APIs. So if you haven't already started using bookings in XFP, or it's something that you want to start looking at, come and find me at any point during the day and I can give you a demo of bookings, show you how that works. It uses the Office 365 APIs, which, you know, kind of the general feel within our customer base is that organizations are moving towards the Office 365 platform. There's a number of customers now which are actually using this in the real world, and with varying degrees of success and kind of adoption. So we've added support for the new APIs. What else have we been up to? Something that we have been asked for a while, pretty much since kind of PayBridge became a core feature of XFP, is the ability to send the payee addresses and names to the payment providers. Not every payment provider supports it, so if you're not sure, come and ask me. But a recent update allows you to select an address from a form question, send that to your payment provider. We've been doing some stuff with Esri, so we can use the addresses held within Esri and we can pull them through into your form, which will kind of sort of improve your addressing data. We've been doing some data retention stuff. It's not immediately linked to GDPR, but data retention, being able to audit who has made what changes to data retention, being able to sort of view what policy deleted what data, we've added them, so that's now even more accessible than it was before. Going to kind of show you some of the new integrations that we've done, one of which will be the SureSign electronic signature integration, so I'll kind of skip over that and give you the proper demo. We've integrated with WorldPay, another payment adapter. I think that takes us up to kind of 12 or 13 different payment providers. And as mentioned kind of in the keynote, first capital cash flow for direct debits is now kind of a core feature of PayBridge. And then we've also got the Bartek Collective, so this is the waste management integration. And then finally, kind of following on from Sarah, we have updated our reCAPTCHA to use version 2. So if you kind of go through the whole process of what Sarah was saying about updating it in the Integrations Hub, XFP will inherit that, and you don't need to worry about XFP. Now to the demos. So we're gonna kind of move out of the local government sphere. We're gonna kind of move into higher education and academic appeals. So first thing I want to do is sign in. I'm just going to sign in because then it will pull through my details into the form and it will make life a bit quicker. So I'll go back to the home page. So we're going to do an academic appeal. This is kind of a sort of electronic form, which will fill out a PDF. I then apply my kind of electronic signature onto it. It's already pre-filled all of my details based on me being signed into the user account. So we've got kind of the first name, family name, some other details have been pre-filled in. I just need to fill in my phone number. So I'll quickly do that. and then other details have been pulled through. So these are just your standard form questions. These are going to get populated into a PDF. So I was sick that day. I had a mild case of the plague. Yeah, just filling in the form. This is standard as any other kind of Jadu form. However, when we get to the review page, confirmation page, instead of kind of the submit your form button, I've now got a sign your form button. So this is going to, it's going to generate a PDF with all my answers in it. It's going to send that up to AssureSign, and then it's going to transfer me onto AssureSign. So AssureSign is our partner who will provide kind of verifications on users' identity. So they can use kind of lots of different kind of ways to do this in terms of kind of passport numbers and various other telephone numbers and things like that. So once you kind of pass through onto their side of things, they'll put you through their process, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can kind of provide your electronic signature. And once you've done that, so I've got a preview of my document here. It's got the details filled out from my X form, and now it's got electronic signature attached to it. And if I click finish, we redirect back to the Jadu form, and our form is now submitted and completed. The PDF is therefore then able to be kind of downloaded. We could upload it to a CXM case. We can email it off to the various parties and notify them that we've received this. So that's one way how you could potentially replace your kind of wet signature forms using this integration. The sort of second demo that I'm going to do is for direct debits. And in this scenario, we're going to kind of sign up for a garden waste subscription. So that's kind of a yearly service, pay a certain amount a year, and we just want it to roll continuously to renew that service. So again, I'm signed in. It's got some of my details. I just need to say, give it my address. Just choosing an address. I've got some details filled in here. Telling it how many subscriptions that I require, how many bins that I require. So we're just going to say 1. And now we come to the kind of direct debit sign up page. So this service has been configured in the background so that if I sign up partway through the year, we'll be charged a prorated amount until the next annual renewal. So the subscription start date actually starts on the 1st of April. But my initial payment to take me up until the 1st of April is £2.50. And then after that point, it's £50 recurring every year until I cancel it. So we can have a look at what we're signing up for, review what we're signing up for, and then click Create Direct Debit. That takes us to First Capital Cash Flow, which is similar to your kind of payment providers. I don't know if any of you use Capita, Barclaycard, kind of WorldPay. They all have their hosted payment pages. It's exactly the same as that, except for we're putting in bank details. So just kind of fill out the direct debit form. Also notice it looks like a standard direct debit form, as in a paper copy of it. So you know, it's things which users are used to seeing. And then I just need to fill these details in. Need to grab my phone, put the bank account details in. I'm not sure of the capabilities of how much you can control the design of this page, but it is something that I can go away and talk to First Capital about and see. Because I think there are certain rules around how the direct debit sign up has to kind of look and feel. It's got to have the guarantee scheme on it, and yeah, you kind of fill in your kind of bank details, click continue, confirm your details, and then when you finish, the process will redirect you back to the Jadu website, complete that form, and from this point forward, we can now subscribe you onto services. So you've set up a mandate between kind of the organisation and your bank, and as a user, I can now come in, I can sign up for garden waste. I might decide to pay my council tax as a direct debit, monthly direct debit, and I can kind of sign up to that. I don't have to go through that whole process of setting up a mandate again. We can run it in the background because we've already got that permission to take funds from a user's account. So that was added a few weeks ago. We've got more kind of stuff coming along with this. Swindon Borough Council are the ones who are leading this. They're hoping to implement their garden waste service within sort of before Christmas, I think. So we've looked at the electronic signatures. We looked at direct debits. Some of you may be aware that we have been working on a new form builder. We are still working on it. It's been in beta test now since June. So we've had the sort of Jadu organisations. So we've had Jadu Inc. over in America doing it, Jadu in Asia Pacific. We've also had Norwich City Council, East Kent Services, Herefordshire County Council helping us. City of Wanneroo, based in Australia, they've been kind of giving us feedback. And then also Stoke City Council have been giving us feedback. And the feedback that we've gathered so far is really good. Most of the feedback is positive, and people see the improvements. It's an easy to use designer. It's drag drop. You can see a preview of what your page is going to look like, customize it a bit more than what you can now. You can also share pages between a form. So if you've got like your details page, you can, which is kind of common on every one of your forms, you can share that page with all those forms and make any changes to that page in a single place, which will then get pushed out across the forms. So we have page versioning, so you can go through approval, rollback. You can see the differences between previous pages or previous versions of that page. So there's a way of versioning all of the sort of pages that you've got. In-page branching, it's a major sticking point in the current forms builder. It's there out of the box. It was the reason why we started redesigning it in the first place. It is there, and it's really simple to use. The in-page branching kind of goes hand in hand with page sections, so we can sort of group questions together into a section. And we can show and hide that section, and we can do stuff with that section. And we can group them all together. Another sticking point is repeatable questions. So asking the same questions over and over again. That's kind of like who your dependencies and or sort of who your guardians and what have you. So you can keep on asking those questions over again, and they will repeat. And we've also introduced a rules engine. So instead of basing actions off of a route through the form, which can get quite complicated and quite it's difficult to manage, we now have a rules engine. So we can say, if I visited page Y, do this action. And for every time I visit page Y, it will do that action. Or if I answered this question in such a way, do this action, and it will do that action. So we're quite excited, or I'm certainly very excited about the new form builder, and would love to give you guys some demo of it today. The release plan is Q1 next year, hoping it'll be January next year. We've got kind of clear run at the moment up until Christmas to finish off what we're doing on it. It will be a limited feature set to start off with. It's not going to have kind of PDF generation in it. It's not going to have kind of file output in it. So the idea is that we're going to release it with payments and with CXM integration, and then we'll start bringing on the other actions into that as and when they need to be prioritized. So what that means to you is it means you have the option to use either forms designer, the current one which you've got now, or the new one, depending on your use case, and I can help you with any decisions that you might need to make on that. And then we will provide some migration tools to allow you to take your current forms and upgrade them to the new versions. Moving on to our roadmap. We're just about finished the Bartech collective work. Then new form builder is kind of what we're working on. Kind of going hand in hand with CXM and the CMS, we are adding organisational support. The gov.uk payments, which has just recently come out of beta and is available for us. We've got reporting enhancements, quite important to organisations to be able to report on how much service take up and all that sort of stuff. And then we kind of, in the sort of longer term, you're looking at kind of single page forms, enhanced branching, and I can never say that word, which is essentially when you're taking your customer service team is taking a payment, automatically stopping the recording of a phone call and then restarting it again whilst that payment is being taken, so that it's kind of, we're not recording people's bank details. So that's kind of like our kind of published roadmap. We do have a more detailed product backlog, which is a Trello board, and it can be shared with you if you wish to see it. So come and speak to me again if you want to have access to that, and we can arrange it.